Hi everyone, so welcome back to my channel Mathematic Girl Swati 3226. In this particular video, I'm going to talk on fraction. So I'm going to talk about fraction, I'm going to talk about different types of fraction, and I'm also going to solve a lot of questions on how to add and subtract like fraction as well as unlike fraction, because students find little difficult to add and subtract unlike fractions. So I'm going to cover that as well. So let's get started with the video. And once again, I'll remind you that if you are new to my channel and if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So we can start now with the topic, and that is fraction. So first of all, let us understand what is the meaning of fraction. Meaning of fraction is simply, it is a part of a whole thing, right? It is a part of a whole thing. For example, we all love pizza, right? So imagine you have a pizza and you have divided that pizza into 4 equal pieces. And if you have eaten one piece, right? So what amount have you eaten? You have eaten 1/4 of a pizza, and that we represent as 1/4. Now, here this 1 that is written on the top, this is called numerator. The top part we call as numerator, and this is the bottom part that we call as denominator. Denominator. Okay. So in a fraction, the top part is called the numerator and the bottom part is called denominator. Now I have written one fraction here. Similarly, we have different types of fraction. Let us understand the different types of fractions. So talking about types, we have 6 types. Okay. Let's see how many types I'm going to cover. The first one is called a unit fraction. Now, what is unit fraction? Here the word unit is 1. What is the meaning of unit? The meaning of unit is 1. And what is unit fraction? So all the fractions where the numerator is 1, right? So all the fraction where the numerator is 1 and denominator is any positive integer, such fractions are called unit fraction. So for example, the general form is going to look like this: 1 over any positive integer. So I'm just writing here positive integer. Now remember, what are positive integers? All the numbers that are present on the number line on the right side of 0, they are called positive integers. Okay, so this form is called unit fraction, where what is fixed? The numerator should be fixed and that should be 1 always. Denominator can be any positive integers. So that is called a unit fraction. Now let's go to the next fraction, and that is an equivalent fraction. This is our second fraction, unit fraction, and this one is called equivalent fraction. Now, what is an equivalent fraction? Okay. So equivalent fraction is very simple. Equivalent fractions are those fractions which are, which we write in a different way, but they all are actually the same thing. For example, if I write on 1 upon 2, 2 upon 4, 3 upon 6, 4 upon 8, 6 upon 10, like these are equivalent fractions. Why are these called equivalent fractions? Because you can simply see that if this is the main, fraction half. So in this, if I just multiply by 2 in the numerator as well as in the denominator, it is going to be 2/4, which is our second fraction, right? And if I take the same fraction, that is 2/4, and if I divide by 2 in both the numerator as well as denominator, you can see that I'm going back to my answer. 2 divided by 2 is 1 and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I got back this 1/2. So if I do these things like, multiplying by the same numerator and the denominator, multiplying or dividing by the same numerator, same number in the numerator and same number in the denominator, such fractions are going to be equivalent fraction. There is one thing that you have to remember, that whatever number you are multiplying in the numerator, it should be same in the denominator. Same case in division as well. So you have multiplied by 2, you have divided by 2 in the numerator. So you have to divide by 2 only in the denominator. If you are keeping different numbers, then remember the fraction is not an equivalent fraction. It will be a fraction, but not an equivalent fraction. Now let us understand how can we find the equivalent fraction here only. Okay, so for example, I have 3 by 4 and the question is find 10 equivalent fraction of 3 by 4. There is a very simple way to solve this. What you can do is you can simply write down the 4 fractions first of all. Yeah. So 1 first fraction, second fraction, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th, right? So first is like in the numerator, it's a very easy way. Just write down the table of 3. So 3 times 1 is 3, that is already written. So I'll go with the next one. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, and then 33. Make sure we have to write down 10. So you count also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you have to multiply till 3 times 11. Okay, because we are not writing that 3 times 1 and 4 times 1. Why? Because we have already given that in the question. Now let's do the same thing in the denominator. So in the denominator, we have to write down the table of 4, right? So this will become 4 times 2, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, and 44. So this is the answer. This is how you can find the first 10 equivalent fraction, first 5, first 3, first 2, first 6, any fractions. Okay. All right, let's go to the third type of the fraction, and that is called proper fraction. Okay. Now, what is a proper fraction? Very simple definition. So proper fraction is basically, suppose we have a fraction in this form only, right? Numerator upon denominator. If numerator is lesser than denominator, if this condition is getting satisfied, the fraction will be called a proper fraction. It's as simple as that. For example, I'm taking 2 by 3. Can you check the numerator is 2 and the denominator is 3? Of course, the numerator is lesser than denominator, which is being satisfied by this, and that is called proper fraction. So that is why it is called proper fraction. So for example, I can write down 5 by 7, 13 by 15, 101 upon 110, 65 upon 81, 95 upon 165, etc. We have how many proper fractions we can write down? We can write down infinitely many proper fractions. The only thing that you have to take care is you have to write down the numerator and denominator in such a way that it should satisfy the condition of numerator lesser than denominator. All right, now let's go to the next type, and that is called improper fraction, and this is our fourth type. So improper fraction. Now, what is improper fraction? Very simple. If you know the definition of proper, improper fraction is just the opposite. So it is numerator by denominator, where numerator should be greater than denominator. So that is called improper fraction. So in an improper fraction, it's very simple. Numerator is greater than denominator. For example, 81 divided by, I can change the width. So for example, I have 81 over 5. Can you see that here the numerator is bigger than denominator? It is satisfying the condition of an improper fraction. That is why it is called improper fraction. I'll write down here 5 examples. So 7 by 5, 3 by 2, 6 by 5, 18 by 4, 19 by 5, etc. Right? How many improper fractions can we write down? We can write down infinitely many improper fractions. Now, with the improper fraction, there is another fraction that is related, and that is called mixed fraction. Now, why is it related to improper? You will understand it soon. So first of all, let me tell you what is a mixed fraction. A mixed fraction is a fraction where we write down, the whole part and the fractional part together. So for example, I'll be taking one improper fraction, for example, 3 by 2. Okay. So simply it will become, yeah, 3 by 2. I simply have to divide this, okay? So 2 here, 3 here, and then you know how to divide this. So this will become, yeah, 2 times 1 is 2, 3 minus 2 is 1. So this remainder will go on the top, and this divisor, that is 2, will come on the denominator, and this fraction is called mixed fraction. Now, how is it, a mixed of, a whole number and the fractional part? Because you can see 1 whole 1 by 2. This is representing the whole number, which is a 1 whole complete number, and this is representing a fractional number. So it is, it is called a mixed fraction. Now the question is, why did I take an improper fraction? You can see that if I take a proper fraction where numerator is smaller than denominator, for example, 5 over 6. And now I want to divide this. So tell me, can we divide this? Do we have 5 in the table of 6? No. We know how to divide it. We will put a decimal and then we can divide it. But decimal number is not a mixed fraction. It will be a decimal number, and that is a different type of number. That is why we cannot take a proper fraction. Every time an improper fraction only can get converted into a mixed fraction, and mixed fraction can be converted into an improper fraction. On that note, let's do a question on how to convert an improper into mixed and mixed into improper. So mixed, improper into mixed, I have already explained, but I'll explain you once again. So improper to mixed, I'll take that first. So for that, I'll take one improper fraction, for example, 12 by 10. So how can I do this? I'll simply divide this. So 10 times 1 is 10. And this 12 minus 10 will become 2. So this is 1 whole 2 by 10. There is one more thing that you can do. If you want, you can keep it like this, or you can just simplify the fractional part, which is this, and the answer is 1 whole 1 by 5. Now let's understand how can we convert mixed into improper. Okay, remember, if you convert mixed into a fraction, it will be improper only. So let's understand that. So mixed fraction, for example, I have 2 whole 3 by 6. So what is this? 6 times 2 is 12, and 12 plus 3. See, we have to multiply this and we have to add this. So 6 times 2, 12. 12 plus 3, 15, and that will come in the numerator upon 6. Right? Now for the verification, you can do one more thing. You can divide this 15 by 6. Okay, I'll just write down this step. Here I multiplied and here I added. So let's check whether your answer is correct or not by dividing this and converting back this improper fraction into a mixed fraction. So 6 times 2 is 12. 15 minus 12 is 3, and the answer is 2 whole 3 by 6. Right? So this is how you can do it. So we have covered unit fraction. We have covered proper, improper, equivalent, mixed fraction. We have covered 5. Now we have 2 more. That means there are total 7 types of fraction. So the next one is called like fraction. Okay. So what is a like fraction? So like fraction is basically all those fractions whose denominators are same. Let's not worry about the numerator at all. The only thing that you have to notice is whether the denominators are same or not. What is the meaning of like fraction? Simply, all the denominators should be same. So I know you must have guessed, if you don't know about the unlike, that unlike is going to be the opposite of what is for like. All the denominators are same. That is called like fraction. So automatically, what will be unlike? You know this already. Let us first take some examples of like fraction. So for example, 1 by 2, 3 by 2, 5 by 2, 7 by 2, 6 by 2, etc. Right? I will not write down the word etc. because etc. that means you can write down any fraction. So I'll just write down this 1 by 2, 3 by 2, 5 by 2, 7 by 2, 6 by 2. Now these are like fractions. Why are these like fractions? Because we are having the same denominator. Very simple. Now let's understand how can we add and subtract the like fractions. For example, I have here 1 over 2 plus 3 over 2. Now adding like fraction is very simple. You just have to write down whatever is in the denominator as it is, and you simply have to add the numerators. So 1 plus 3 is 4. So the answer is 4 by 2. If you will simplify, you'll get the answer 2, which is same as 2 by 1. Very simple. Now let's do one more question. 6 by 5 plus 3 by 5 plus 9 by 5. So we can add more than two fractions as well. Again, the denominator will be as it is, that is 5. Now you'll simply add the numerators. So it is 6 plus 3 plus 9. What is 6 plus 3 plus 9? It is 18. So the answer is 18 by 5. And you can still see that this, and this, they are like fractions only, right? Okay, so this is about like fraction, addition of like fraction. Let us do the subtraction also. It's very straightforward. For example, we have 18 by 5 minus 2 by 5, right? So again, you have to keep the denominator as it is. And now we will subtract the numerator. That is it. So 18 minus 2 is 16. So it is 16 over 5. Okay. All right. So this way we can just add and subtract the like fractions. Now let us simply understand how to multiply the like fractions as well. So for example, I have 2 by 3 times 5 by 3. Very simple. Here, don't keep the denominator as it is. In this case, we multiply the numerator with numerator and we multiply the denominator with denominator. So it is simply 2 times 5 in the numerator and 3 times 3 in the denominator. So the answer is 10 over 9. All right. Very simple. Multiplying the like fractions. Let's go to the division. So division, for example, I have 18. I think I'll change this. I'll change the width. So for example, I have 18 over 5 divided by 9 over 10. Now, will you do 18 divided by 9 in the numerator and 5 divided by 10 in the denominator? No. We know that division and multiplication, they are opposite to each other, right? So here we are going to use that concept. We have to write down the first new fraction as it is. We will change this division sign to multiplication sign and we will do something with this fraction. We will simply reciprocate this. Now, what is the meaning of reciprocal? So, meaning of reciprocal is simply if you have a by b, so this numerator will go in the denominator and denominator will come in the numerator. That is it. This is the meaning of reciprocal. So what is the reciprocal of 9 by 10? It's 10 by 9. Yeah. Okay. So it is going to be 10 over 9. Now here what you can do, you can simplify this. 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18. So the answer is just 4. Remember, 4 is also can be written in a fraction form if you want 4 by 1. Right? All right. So this is how you can do the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of like fractions. Now let us come to the last part or the last type, that is unlike fraction. And here on this, I'm going to solve a lot of questions without any cut, without making the second part, the third part. No, I'm going to take a lot of questions on unlike fractions. If you think that you're not good in unlike fractions, make sure you watch this video till the end. So first of all, let us understand about the unlike fraction. You know what is like fraction now? Like fraction is, are those fractions in which the denominators are same. So unlike is absolutely the opposite. All the fractions whose denominators are not same. That is it. And we are done. So all the denominators are not same. That is called unlike fraction. Okay. Now we can go directly to the questions, but for that, before that, I'll give you some examples. 2 by 5, 7 by 9, 3 by 5, 1 by 2, 5 by 8. You can see that we are not having the denominators same. They all are different. This is 5, this is 9, this is 5. So even if it is 5, 5, all the denominators are not same. So it is not, together they are not unlike fractions. If you just talk about this and this, yeah, that will be a like fraction. But together, all these are not fractions. So I'll just do one thing. I will change it to, let's say, 7. Okay. So now this is 2, this is 8. They are all different. That is why it is called an unlike fraction. Now let's quickly go to the questions and how we can solve the addition and subtraction of unlike fractions. So I'll be taking some examples. The very first and the very simple question is 2 by 3 plus 1 by 2. So you will simply take the LCM. Okay. So 3 and 2, the LCM is 6. What is 3 times, 3 times what is 6? 3 times 2 is 6. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. So 3 times 1 is 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7 by 6. Very simple. Let's go to the next question. Next is 3 by 5 minus 3 by 10. Okay. So you simply have to take the LCM. If you don't know how to take the LCM, I just want to tell you one more thing, that the only thing that I'm doing is I'm converting these unlike fractions into like fractions. And how can we do that? By making or by converting the denominators as same. Now this is different. So they are unlike. I'll convert it into like. Now how can I do that? 5. I can make this as 10. So what I'll do? I'll multiply here by 2. But there is one rule that we have understood, that whatever changes we are doing in the numerator or even in the denominator, we have to do exactly the same in the other thing, right? So times 2 here. Now this will become 6 by 10 and this is minus 3 by 10 as it is. Now why did I not make any changes in this? Because it is already 10. I have already got 10. It is already a like fraction. So it is simply now, you will subtract the numerator, you'll keep the denominator as it is. 6 minus 3 is 3, 3 over 10. So that's the answer. Now we can also do one thing. If you are not comfortable in taking LCM, like I know how to take LCM, I am very fast in that as well. For you, I'll do one thing. I'll solve all the questions by converting an unlike into a like fraction, and then I'll solve all of them. So let's go to question number 3, and I really want to change the width now. All right, so the third question is 2 by 5 plus 1 by 10. I'll take the addition and subtraction together because it's the same thing. All you need to do is to add or subtract the numerator. So of course, the same question. Oh, is it the same question? So times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, 5 times 2 is 10. I'll not do any changes in 1 by 10 because it's already 10 now. And now this is simply 4 plus 1 over 10. 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 over 10. If you want, you can simplify this fraction and that will become half. Let's go to the next question. And the next question is 3 by 5 plus 5 by 3 by 5 plus 3 by 8. So I can see that this is 5 and this is 8. I have to bring something, like same in the denominator. I have to multiply by something so that I'll get the same number in the denominator. Now, if I say 5 table and if I say 8 table, I'll check. I can see that 40 is the first number that is coming common in both. So this will become 5 times 8 and this will become 8 times 5, right? Now, whatever I have done in the denominator, same thing in the numerator, here also the same thing. Now, 3 times 8 is 24 and 5 times 8 is 40. 3 times 5 is 15 here and 8 times 5 is 40, right? And here we will simply add the numerator because now it is a like fraction. So 24 plus 15 over 40. Now, what is 24 plus 15? It's very simple, 39 over 40. That's the answer. Now we can go to the next question, and that is the 5th question. All right, so yes, let's go to the 5th question. So the next question is 2 by 7 plus 1 by 4. So 2 over 7 plus 1 over 4. Again, I can see that this is 7 and this is 4. So if I multiply this by 2, it will become 14. But do I have 14 in the table of 4? No. If I multiply by 3, it is 21. Do we have 21 in the table of 4? No. If I multiply by 4, it will be 28, which I know that it is there in the table of 4 as well. So 7. Now doing the same thing, 4 here and 7 here. Now we can convert it into like fraction. 2 times 4 is 8. 7 times 4 is 28. 1 times 7 is 7. 4 times 7 is 28. Now what do we do here? We simply add the numerators. So 8 plus 7, that is 15 over 28. That's the answer. All right, now we can go to the next question. That is 4 over 6 minus 1 over 12. All right, so of course, very simple. I can see that I can convert 6 into 12. and I'll keep that 12 as it is. So this will become 6 times 2, and I have to do the same thing here. So this will become 4 times 2, 8, 6 times 2 is 12. Well, not this. I was not expecting that. So yeah, I'll just write down that question again. So that was the 7th question we had. Okay, so it was 4 over 6 minus 1 over 12, right? So I'll just do the changes here, 6 times 2 here and 4 times 2 here. This will become 8 by 12 and this is minus 1 by 12. And here, if I subtract the numerator, 8 minus 1 and the denominator as it is, so 8 minus 1 is 7 and is 7 over 12. So yes, this is it. Let's go to the next question, the 8th one. And that is 3 over 4 minus 1 over 3. Okay, so here what I can do is I will convert this 4 into 12 by multiplying this by 3 and this 3 into 12 by multiplying this with 4. Doing the same thing over here. So 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12, minus 1 times 4 is 4, 3 times 4 is 12. Now this will become 9 minus 4 over 12, that is 5 over 12. This was our 8th question. Now let's go to the 9th question. I'll just do 10 questions here. Okay, so this is the second last question. It is 3 by 4 minus 1 by 16. So what I'll do here, I'll multiply this by 4 and this by 4. So this will become 12 over 16 and this is 1 by 16 as it is. Now simply 12 minus 1 is 11. 11 over 16 is the answer. Now let's go to the last question for the day, and that is 7 by 8 minus 3 by 4. So of course, here it is already 8. What I can do is I can convert this 4 into 8 by multiplying this by 2, and I'll do the same thing here. 7 by 8 minus 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8. 7 minus 6 is 1, and this is 8, so 1 over 8. So this is the answer, and that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you understood every single thing. If you want any suggestion, if you want to give me any suggestion, make sure you give that to me here and even on my Instagram page, that is Mathematic Girls Swati 3226. So yes, I'll meet you super soon in my next video. And thank you so much for your support. Keep supporting me like this. Thank you.